All we ask you to do today is pay attention because this is very real. It's very real to all the people you see out here. Because every year about this time, all across the country, it's prom time. It's prom time here for East and North students Saturday night. We want you to have a great time, but we want you to make the right decisions. Because somewhere, one student at a prom or more is going to make a bad decision. We've been very fortunate here in Bartholomew County that we have not lost a student on prom night to making poor decisions. We want to keep it that way, and that's why all the public safety rescue professionals of Bartholomew County bring you Operation Safe Prom. Group of students on their way to after prom after enjoying an evening make a bad decision.
What happened? Delaney.
Just a few hours before, their parents had sent them out the door, dressed in their best. Pictures taken, everybody expecting a good time, and then the driver adds something to the equation: alcohol or drugs.
Why is she so...
What did you do? This is all your fault!
Why can't I open the door?
As the students try to realize what happens, a passerby happens upon the scene and calls 911. Dispatchers take the call from the passerby.
Please wake up!
Delaney, please.
Is she dead?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Oh my
Dispatchers take the information and relay it to the appropriate rescue personnel to get them dispatched to the scene.
343, 42 159, EMS 1, Engine 3, Squad 2, Battalion 1, respond in front of East High School, 230 South Mile Road for accident injury.
The driver's dazed, trying to figure out what's happened.
4010.
What are you doing?
Realizing he could be in trouble as well, tries to hide some of the evidence of what's happened. As the first rescue professionals arrive on the scene, officer that arrives has to assess exactly what's happened to see what other rescue personnel might be needed.
No
one wants to spike. That's that dry
On the line of 110 within the matter.
What exception?
We're going to need some more units here.
Due to the severity of the injuries and the number of injured persons, the officer requests more assistance as the fire and medic personnel arrive on the scene.
We might have possible 10-5 here.
Engine 3.
All right, we can single vehicle accident. Multiple victims. Engine 3 will be conducting triage on those numbers tomorrow.
The single officer tries to control the entire scene and help triage the injured people, as well as having to deal with the driver, who besides being confused knows that he may be in quite a bit of trouble.
Well, as far as what two driving. What two?
No.
42 years on change. 42 years. 343.
Firefighters and EMS take over control of the patients while the officer takes care of the driver to evaluate him for his injuries and his impairment.
My day is Delaney and the other day Colton and Ava, they came with me. But I need to make sure if Delaney's okay. I think she's sleeping, but she's okay.
Information that 1 loaded, 2 critical, 110 0. I'll give it to you, man, and we'll make you guys transportation.
No, definitely. No.
Sheriff's Department and state police officers also heard the dispatch and arrive on the scene to assist. The state trooper offers to take over the investigation of the driver to check his impairment
I'm fine.
and find out some details of the accident. EMS and fire personnel work diligently to try and save the people that are still in the car, working within that golden hour to try and get them out and to emergency care to have the best chance for their survival.
Test to make sure that you're, if you were intoxicated or not, okay? I don't want you falling down there, okay? Let them worry about them and you worry about me, okay? All right, I'm going to check your eyes first, okay? You look at my finger there? I want you to follow that with your eyes and your eyes only, okay? Keep your head still and follow that with your eyes. You understand me?
Yeah.
Keep your head still and follow with your eyes.
Sadly, EMS has already determined that one of the passengers is deceased.
I'm going to do another test, okay?
And a call is made for the coroner's office to respond to the scene.
I want you to pick whichever foot you want. Let's do like this, okay? Look at your foot at all times and count out loud. 1001, 1002, 1003. I didn't make you do that. Wait till I'm finished, okay? But anytime you put your foot down, just pick it back up and continue where you lost off.
The deceased is removed from the car, basically moved out of the way so that they can take care of those still living that still have a chance. The driver, still dazed, tries to find what happened to his dates.
What's your name? Right now?
Yes.
Firefighters and EMS continue to evaluate to see what is the best route to remove the remaining victims from the back of the car, to do so safely, but as quickly as possible to get them to treatment.
What's Delaney?
We'll make arrangements for again.
The coroner arrives on the scene to complete the grisly task of pronouncing the victim, as well as removing the body from the scene. Dispatch is also advised that the parents have been notified by a passerby, so the officers are advised that they may also have to deal with a parent arriving.
187 Holy.
The parents arrive on the scene. The officers now have to contend with two distraught parents trying to reach their daughter as they recognize the car and know that this is the one she left in for prom tonight.
What are these, North Lights?
The distraught father, realizing that his daughter is gone, immediately blames the driver for his poor judgment and tries to seek his own revenge on the scene.
That high quality.
Firefighters continue to cut the car apart
Never dealt with mics before, and they're screaming.
to make the best effort to remove the last victims from the back without causing any further injury.
Bye-bye, Colton.
Due to the severity of the injuries, an air ambulance would be called. But unfortunately, due to the weather, that's not available. The students are packaged for transport. The mother, still distraught, wants to see her daughter. The coroner's office will be responsible for making sure that their child is taken care of and that they can make identification.
Rest in peace, Colton.
To make access to the patient in the back easier for them and safer for the victim.
Yeah, it was still in the back.
One victim is loaded in the ambulance as rescuers continue to work on the fourth victim in the back of the car. And the coroners complete their task of removing our deceased girl from the scene.
Wait, no one had an article, but we should celebrate 420.
Our fourth student is finally removed from the back seat as they make preparations to get her loaded in the ambulance for transport as well. At every scene, the weather can play a factor, and today it means that this victim will not get transported by aircraft, so she won't be at the hospital as quickly. It just lessens her chances of survival. The coroner allows the parents to see their daughter before they load her in for transport to the morgue. As fire and EMS load the last victim into the ambulance for transport. The parents are comforted by officers as they leave the scene to face what they now have to do, which is to make funeral arrangements, notify family members of the loss of their loved one. The state trooper transports the driver to the local police station for evaluation for his blood alcohol content
By local police station.
or his impairment by drugs that may have caused this accident. The rescue professionals clean up the scene. What's left of this car that was maybe the pride and joy of the driver, or a borrowed car from a friend. Driver now faces loss of his license, higher insurance, but mostly the fact that his bad actions, his poor decision, took the life of a loved one, a friend, someone that maybe he hoped to have a future with. The other students deal with the loss of a classmate, a friend, sister, brother,
Investigation's complete.
someone on their sports team.
The rest are taken care of.
And the officers, firefighters, and EMS
Dispatch 4210.
go home to their families
One male.
to get up and do it all over again and hope that something like this does not happen again to anyone that they have to deal with. While we're getting the students and the parents back over here, we have Mayor Linnup here, who's going to read a proclamation. We won't make you get too wet, Mayor.
This on? Okay. This is our proclamation for Safe Prom Week. I'll read it to you now. To all to whom these presents may come, greetings. High school juniors and seniors anticipate the fun and excitement of attending their prom for many years. And whereas for the past 24 years, the South Central Emergency Medical Technician Association, in coordination with the Bartholomew Consolidated School Corporation, Columbus Regional Health, IU Health Lifeline, the City of Columbus, Bartholomew County, Indiana State Police, and many volunteers go to great lengths through Operation Safe Prom to protect and provide awareness to students who will be attending the prom. And whereas our goal is to remind high school juniors and seniors that statistics show roughly 1/3 of alcohol-related fatalities occur during peak prom season. Whereas 10% of all drivers aged 15 to 19 involved in fatal crashes were reported as distracted by cell phones or another form of handheld device. And whereas one accident scene can involve, as you've seen, a minimum of 7 agencies and 55 people responding to and treating victims, putting first responders at risk of injury, not to mention the effect on family members. And whereas by providing a mock accident scene, our hope is to demonstrate the real-life consequences associated with impaired and distracted driving, preventing vehicle-related tragedies in our community. Now therefore I, James D. Linnup, Mayor of the City of Columbus, do hereby proclaim May 3rd through May 6th as Operation Safe Prom Week. Please enjoy the prom and be safe.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, we're getting them rounded up. As the mayor mentioned,